Today I'm going to talk about uh, home things you can do at home to enhance your children's ability to read. Uh, for instance, in going through some cards I had, I decided to make some flashcards, but these have to do with numbers. Uh, and teaching your children numbers, of course, we start out with the number one, or we can start with zero because zero is nothing. But when we start with one, we want to be sure the child understands that one means one thing or one piece or one, maybe one of a kind. What I did was I had some scrap paper, so what I did is I numbered, I wrote numbers from, like, example, this is 1 through 6. And to make sure that a child would understand what I'm doing, I wrote 1 through 6, and then I wrote the equivalent of 1 through 6. In other words, to have a child to understand that one means one, that would be one stick or one finger or one block or one marble, and then two would be equal to two parts or two things. Then we have three, and we have mark to define the three, and I went all the way to 6, and each number has an equivalent of that number. And another thing I found we could do is, if we're going to teach a child numbers, it would be nice to teach them how to write the numbers. And in this case, I wrote from 1 through 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have 7, would be my next number. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And of course you can write the equivalent of all the numbers and match them up. You want also to have children to understand that numbers are words. And in this case, what I've done is I've written words to identify the numbers. And, for instance, I have here the number 3. I would expect the child to find the number 3 and match that number up with the word 3. Like so. There's your word 3, and there's the number 3. And if you work from a child's room, you can have a wall that you can use stick pins or use thumbtacks, and it would be so easy to just thumb tack the word under the number. Okay, let's see here where I have my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, and I have 4 and 5 on another card. But what you want to do is have the child be able to take the word 1 and match it with the number 1. Okay? they both mean the same. You want to have the child to match the word two with the number two. There's your word two and your number two. All that helps the child to understand more about equivalence and what reading is all about. And these are just cards that I had at the house that they were given to me by my son, and I was able to tear them out and write on them. And you can write on both sides. Like for instance, on one side of the card I have the word three. On the other side I have the word cat. And it just so happens that the word cat has 3 letters in it. And you might bring that to the child's attention. That's how a child can figure out you have words that mean certain things. Like in this case, the word three, THREE, and here's the word cat, CAT, with 3 letters in it. And the child should be able to match those together. And also, when if we want to think of something else that has a 3, we have 3 lines. We have the word that has 3 letters. We have the word 3. We have 3 lines. And you have the number 3. So you want the child to understand that there's so much that you can do with words and numbers. And remember, we don't want to waste our paper or cards. Always utilize both sides. You can have a word, write a word that begins with the letter. Like for instance, if I'm going to talk to my child about the alphabet, I know that apple, A is the beginning letter for apple. I know that B is the beginning letter for B. So I can talk to my child about that. And as we go on with the number line, we have numbers that we can put on the wall, on the child's wall. I think a child's wall should be, I wouldn't call it junked up because it's not junk, because reading is all about facts and information. It's entertaining, and there's so much involved in reading. If you have a number line, like for instance, starting with 13, you can go down 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and you can take these strips of paper and have the child to continue the numbers. In other words, if he or she should find a strip of paper that ends with 24, you want her to know that 25 would be the next number. I haven't broken up the cards yet, but it can be broken up into parts. Each of these can be shared with by just cutting them in parts and have the child to arrange them in order. That is something that we can really help the child with. Like in this case here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks. Well, I would expect the child to find the number 6, and soon recognize that this 6 is equal to this. there's 6 marks here, and the number 6 is here, so they both can be identified. These are just some things you can do at home with your child, and it doesn't take long to do it. You can use scrap paper, cardboard, or what have you.